I'm a rock star. Every day I rock hard. I'm a motherfucking rock star. Every day I rock hard. I'm a rock star.
Hi Rockstars, I'm Aly, Rockstar Bar Girl. As you guys already know, I absolutely live and love color, colorful hair, colorful nails, colorful makeup, and I have been dying to try the Crayon Case's eyeshadow palette. So the Crayon Case is a makeup company that was started by this really cool single mom, and she had this really excellent concept to come out with really pigmented colors and kind of base them on crayons and back to school items. Just all over Instagram. I wanted to get some of her products, and they're really affordable, so I definitely could have before now, but you know how it is, you're online shopping and you're like, ooh, do I really need that item? But then they were having a bundle deal on all three of her eyeshadow palettes. So I figured since I have all three palettes, then I might as well show you guys all of them and maybe do my face with all three and see what I think. I'm not a makeup guru. I'm not a makeup anything, and makeup isn't even something that I wear every day, though I do wear it most days. But the reason why I wanted to do this video is because I often get questions from you guys about what I wear, or just how I style myself behind the bar. Everything from what types of shoes do I wear, or how I do my makeup, what do I do with my nails. And so one of the biggest issues that I've had is that typically the bar is a lot darker than you know, outside, and the lighting is usually really terrible. Taking a selfie behind the bar can be super hard, and finding makeup that is pigmented enough that it shows up in the dark can be difficult. So I really wanted to try these eyeshadows because I'm hoping that they'll be nice and bright enough that behind the bar in dark circumstances you can still see that my eyes are done. So these are the three palettes. Yes, palettes. So first we have her main palette. This is the original concept, and this is the box of crayons eyeshadow palette, and it has 18 different colors in them. Oh, I should have them open. So while I open these, just quickly on packaging, one thing that I saw in a bunch of the online reviews was that people were getting their palettes with some of the colors, some of the pots cracked and shattered, and it seemed like the reason for that is because they were shipping them in like bubble mailer envelopes instead of in boxes. My package came in a box though. Let's see if I can hold this up without losing the plastic. So it is 18 different crayon inspired colors and a super huge mirror, which is awesome. There are like 10 mattes and then 8 shimmer colors that are down here. I did swatches of everything already, and honey, shooketh. I was just like blown away. Then next is the Watch Me blush palette, and this is bright pop colors that would probably be more like you know, eyeshadows, like the blue and the cranberry, and then you've got peachier tones like the tangerine and the strawberry cream that would be good for blushes, and then you've got the metallic banana, cappuccino, and sweet teas. Those look like they'd be good for highlighters. So this is a nice palette that you could travel with, I feel like, because you can get a whole bunch of different looks and different parts of your face made up with just the one palette. And then we have the New Rule. This is the Nude Palette. It has 12 nude shades in it, and this palette doesn't have a mirror. It's a lot smaller. So this is the Nude Palette. So like 4 of them are like metallic colors, and the rest of them are matte. So those are the 3 palettes, and I'm going to show you guys the look that I was inspired by and link it somewhere, put it over here. I don't know. Technology is hard. So I can show you what my inspiration was, and I'm going to try to recreate. So I don't do anything really special with my eyebrows, but there are 2 tips that have been helpful to me. The first is I use a concealer that's close to my skin tone for lining up my eyebrows to prevent that weird bright halo look. And then I use tape to make sure that my eyeshadow is neat. Using a MAC 217 brush, I'm taking the purple from the Box of Crayons palette to start. And wow. This is the tiniest bit of eyeshadow on the tip of my brush, and it was like, boom, heavy saturated color as soon as I put it on. But the great news was it's also really, really blendable. It blends so easily. So even though I started off with probably like more color at first than I was ready for, it all blended out really easily. Next, I went into the Watch Me blush palette and picked up a little tangerine on a C brush. I don't know the brand of this brush, I've had it for a very long time, but the style is a type of eyeshadow brush called a C eyeshadow brush. And I placed the tangerine eyeshadow right above the purple. Then I went back into the Box of Crayons palette to pick up some yellow with a smaller eyeshadow C brush and put that right on top of the orange. This eyeshadow C brush is from e.l.f. So even though there isn't a lot of fallout with these colors, the yellow still covered up some of the tangerine. So I went back into the Watch Me blush palette for more tangerine, and then back into the Box of Crayons palette for more purple. So now I'm going back to the Watch Me blush palette for berries with the same MAC 217 brush and just packing that in on my crease and the edge of my eyelid. Okay, now it's time for the fun part. So I'm using the yellow corrector from LA Girl Pro Conceal to cut my crease. And again, this is my first time doing this, so I was a little bit nervous, and certainly I will be much improved in the future. But one thing that I noticed is that you definitely want to use more rather than less of the concealer. Otherwise, it kind of just drags around and is really splotchy. So use a good amount of the concealer on a brush, and that will allow you to get nice opaque coverage. And I'm just applying this with an e.l.f. concealer brush. Make sure to let it dry thoroughly and then set it with a setting powder. So I have slightly hooded eyes, and the eyeshadow on my lower lid can sometimes transfer to my upper. So if you have hooded lids, try holding your head down and looking up to double check that your concealer isn't going to transfer to above your cut crease. And I could have taken the crease even higher, but it was past the point where I knew it wouldn't be any transfer from the lower lid, so I was fine. So next I'm going to be using meter with millimeter on top to basically create a color that's very similar to what the concealer is, but just slightly pinker. The meter is a matte color, but since I'm going to be using shimmers in the crease, I'm going to go over that with millimeter, which is like a metallic rose gold champagne-y type color. And I'm packing this on with what is actually an e.l.f. contour brush, but I like that the bristles are short and firm. Next, I'm picking up Strawberry Cream from the Watch Me blush palette, and this color stood out to me from the second I opened the packages up. I couldn't wait to try it, and it did not disappoint. It is such a pretty Barbie pink with shimmer. It is just absolutely gorgeous. I could see myself really going overboard with it. After I applied some of that, I just went over the area where they meet with a little bit more of the millimeter. Next, I went back to the Box of Crayons palette to pick up Violet, a very pretty shimmery purple color. I'm not sure what type of brush this is because the info has worn off, but it looks very similar to the e.l.f. concealer brush. The bristles are soft, but they're pretty densely packed, so you can get your eyeshadow in a concentrated area. Then I just took a little bit of white from the Box of Crayons palette on an e.l.f. smudge brush and added that into the corners. And added white to my waterline. This is a Makeup Forever eyeliner pencil. I'm pretty much done with the top, so I remove the tape, and then I just kind of replicate the colors from the top down underneath my lower lash line, starting with the orange, that's the tangerine in the Watch Me Blush palette, then moving on to the yellow in the Box of Crayons palette, and then finally adding a very thin line just at the waterline of the purple from the Box of Crayons palette. I did all three colors with an e.l.f. precision brush. So I wanted to add like a thin line of shimmer right at the point where the cut crease starts, but I didn't have any like liquid glitter eyeliner, so I tried using this white liquid eyeliner pen and sort of just rubbed it around in the white from the Box of Crayons palette because it's like a shimmery white. It didn't quite work out. I didn't get the nice crisp line I was looking for, but it was kind of close. After that, I added some black liquid eyeliner and then decided that this was as good as I was going to get for the moment, so it was time to work on my face. Typically when I'm working, I don't bother with highlighting and contouring. I save that for going out at night and getting really glam. So usually I would stop at concealer and foundation, put on a little blush if I'm going to wear it, which I often don't, and then just follow that up with a little bit of highlighter. For this, I decided to go into the Watch Me Blush palette and pick up the same tangerine that I use on my eyes for a blush. And then I went into the Nude Palette and picked up the same millimeter that I use on my eyes to use it as a highlighter. All of the shimmer colors go on so nicely that you can really use any of them to highlight. Then I threw on a little bit of lip liner and some gloss, and the look was complete. Alright, rock stars, this is the look. So all in all, I mean, this is just amazing. Like I said, a review from me doesn't necessarily mean much. I don't live in the world of makeup, so I can only compare this to the things that I have bought in the past, and a lot of times the issue that I have is brightly colored things are really chalky and pastel and not made for brown skin, and they don't show up well in the dark, and this is the opposite. Every single color goes on satiny, highly pigmented. It was very easy for me, a newbie, to use. I just went kind of slow with it, and I can tell just by looking at it that even in a dark bar you would be able to see that I have makeup on. So I am very happy. These are all three palettes again, and I used colors from all three, the Box of Crayons, Watch Me Blush, and the New Rule 12 Nude Palette set. So I definitely recommend you give the Crayon Case a try. I also recommend just getting all three palettes because that'll pretty much knock out just about everything you need, especially if you're starting out in makeup and you don't want to spend a ton of money on buying lots of eyeshadows, blushes, and highlighter. If you just get these three palettes, you pretty much have everything you need. So hopefully you guys like this video. I hope you found it helpful, or at least just interesting. Definitely make sure you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and once you subscribe, make sure to click on the bell so you know the next time I release one of these random personal life RSVG videos. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below, and follow me on Instagram at rockstar_bargirl. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, rock stars.
I'm a rock star. Every day I rock hard. I'm a motherfucking rock star. Every day I rock hard. I'm a rock star.